Thank you for listening to Comics for Fun and Profit. And since I am talking, that means Kyle's not here. He is over on vacation in the windy city of Chicago, stuffing his face with some deep dish pizzas and Chicago dogs and things like that. So I am joined by Mike Myers, the one, the only Mike Myers. Hello, Mike.
I'm glad to be here. I'll
And
cough every now and then, so it'll make everyone feel at home.
we have a news item hot off the presses just for you, Mike. There was an announcement today that Joker 2 is going to be coming out. That Todd Phillips, the director, is going to write the sequel. And I know Joker was one of your favorite movies, right? If not your favorite movie.
It is my favorite. It surpassed The Rocketeer, which I didn't. I never thought any movie would knock off The Rocketeer because that was my favorite superhero movie, and then Joker came along, and I feel that Joker has like so many dimensions to it. I think it like starts off like a taxi driver, and then it ends up like a comic. In other words, it ties into the Bruce Wayne stuff and like the twistedness of like having multi Jokers, and it just like it's insane. I love it.
I've seen it twice. How many times have you seen it?
Probably about 11 times.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
But I've seen it like more than that if you count all the times I turn on the TV and it's on. I'll catch it, the last 15 minutes, or I'll watch the beginning and then leave. So I've watched it 11 times from beginning to end, but probably like 50 if it's on and I catch it while I'm flipping channels.
That's like me with Tommy Boy. I have a Tommy Boy in the background every time it's on.
Chris Farley?
Yeah. It's a great movie.
It's kind of the way I am with some Adam Sandler movies. I like his stuff, man. Even though the formula is the same, like it's the same thing, but I just can't get enough of them. They make me laugh.
Mike, you do Mike M's Weekly Reads. That's one of your podcasts. You do Geek Brunch. Those are two that I never miss. I love both of those. Sometimes I have to strap in for a Geek Brunch because they go a little long. And then you have, let me see how many I can name. I said DC Noise, DC Everything Else. We have the one that's with Kickstarters. I can't remember the acronym that you use for that. And
yeah,
then,
it's like something pop, CC pop.
Yeah, you don't even remember.
It's hard, but the pop is like K-pop, so that's how I remember.
Yeah. So what else? What did I miss?
There's Mike M's Collector's Corner, but I haven't done one of those in a while.
Oh, that's right. That's a good one.
And DC Spotlight and Geek Brunch Retro. Did you get that one?
Oh, nope, I didn't get that one either. So you do, that's nearly 10 podcasts that
the
you
ones
record
that are regular are 3 though. DC Spotlight, Mike M's Weekly Reads, Geek Brunch Retro. So there's 4 that are pretty much regular. But they alternate weeks, so it's still like having like one podcast.
Do you prefer one over the other? You do the Mike M's probably the most consistently, wouldn't you say?
Either that or Geek Brunch.
Is Geek Brunch every other week?
Every other week, yeah.
Yeah. And there for a while, Mike M's was like, you were cranking them out.
Yeah, I've gotten a little bit behind because of work and trying to catch up on the other podcasts. But I hope to catch up over this holiday, at least get 2 of them in the can.
But I think all our listeners should check it out if you haven't listened to Mike Myers. We got a lot of crossover, I think. People like me, like you, and vice versa. But the best way to do so is to go to is it geekbrunch.com to find all that?
Yeah, geekbrunchpodcast.com or DCNoisePodcast.com.
And check out all Mike's stuff because He's the hardest working man in comics, comics podcasting.
Maybe in terms of hours because of
Oh yeah.
content, but not in terms of editing or any of that. Because I like to do the natural conversation, like if I'm talking to somebody on the phone kind of
Yeah.
thing. I don't
Yeah.
like to plan anything really.
Yeah. And I kind of do a little bit. I
Yeah.
try to keep it loose, though. I hope it doesn't seem rigid at my show.
No,
I don't
it's
know.
not rigid. I like the format because I do all of it with or without you.
Well, we had some feedback. Joey asks, before Penguin starts distributing Marvel in October, will there be 3 separate print pre-order catalogs if DC Connect goes to print? And will we need to buy them all, or will they just all go digital? And how much are you guys willing to pay for 3 pre-order catalogs each month? Wow. Do you think Penguin will do a print catalog?
I think Marvel will do a print catalog and send it through Penguin,
So it'd be
just
like
like
they're.
DC. Yeah, DC would if they wanted to go to
Do you
print.
think DC Connect's going to go back to print ever?
No. I
Yeah,
think once you go digital, you're not gonna ever come back because you realize how much you're saving.
I
And
would think so. Yeah.
and I think most of the people have access to internet. The only thing you don't get is like that casual browse, like you're sitting on the couch and you might find some extra stuff. You can't really do that on the computer. You're kind of like scrolling by. It's a different experience than if you're flipping through pages.
Yeah, I mean, previews is a good toilet read, man.
Oh, it's dangerous toilet read because you could the back half you'll like find all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, I don't think previews Prime the Prime catalog is going to change that much. I mean, it didn't really have a DC in it or a Marvel in it anyway. It just had a page, so it's still going to be 1,000 pages probably. Um, I would assume they're. I don't know. They might go digital to save money. I don't know. They got
They
to pay
might,
for.
I imagine that they would look at going digital because the previous catalog, I mean, while it's a beautiful thing and it's like looking at a Christmas catalog, it probably is a cost burden to them in terms of paper,
Oh yeah.
and they don't make a lot of money from it.
I
Like,
wouldn't think even at full retail, what, $4?
yeah.
I still don't know how they print the thing that much and make any profit on it. They can't.
But did you see they were selling like I forget which issue it is, but it was the first what is that boom book that's hot? Um,
Something is killing the children?
yeah, something is killing the children. That book went up in price. I mean, because people are weird. They think these previews things are a first appearance.
Yeah, that bugs me. Um I don't subscribe to that theory at
I don't
all.
subscribe to it, but I save them all because I like
You
to
never know.
randomly. Well, not because of that at all. I like it because it's an historical
Oh
slice in
yeah.
time of what happened at that month.
Yeah.
And for somebody that likes to buy a lot of back issues, those things are gems, man.
So you just stick them in like magazine drawer boxes?
And I just throw them in a box. I don't think the
They don't
preview.
get organized
Yeah. No, they're organized by month.
as well as the as your comics then.
Yeah. And who knows,
Yeah.
those DC ones might be collectibles because they they don't do them anymore.
It's true. So do you get all yours? You probably get yours for like 99 cents because you buy so much, or you get them for free?
I get
The
them for
previews,
free.
yeah. What would you pay for them?
I'd pay full price. I
You'd pay
spend
full
more
price.
time. I spend more time in previews than I do reading comics.
I don't remember what was the full price for a Marvel preview. Was it $1.99?
I I don't know because my shop gives them away for free.
Yeah, most people
Uh,
got them for free, but when you pre-order them, I think they have a price tag right there.
oh, what like on DCBS? Yeah, they do have a price tag. DCBS gives the Marvel supplement for free. They charge like 99 cents for the book, I think.
Yeah,
Well, my shop just he bites the cost on that in hopes that he'll get more subscribers.
right.
And it's been working lately because he puts like all the old previews, like at least the last 3 months at the register, and people just start taking them, and he's noticed that they come back with, oh, could you add this, can you add that, and with final order cutoff a lot of times he can, or he
Yeah,
can pull it off, like if he knows he ordered so much for the shelf, he could take it off the shelf and give it to a pull box. So that works
yeah,
out well.
I don't know. I mean, I kind of like having the digital options, and I don't know that I would pay that much for them because of if I have a digital option, I'll just go that route. Even though it is nice to just peruse that. Um, but yeah, I don't probably think TC Connect will go back to print either. So be nice if I could get Image Plus again. Those were fun magazines. I like those.
Well, you
But I
had
don't think.
original content, right? I mean, you had like some
Yeah.
Walking Dead stuff, and
Oh yeah. Yeah.
what was the other supplement? I can't remember if it's Wytches. I think it was Wytches.
Yeah.
There
I
was
think you're
something
right.
else that had original content. So it was a little different than previews because you'd get at least 8 pages of content.
Yeah, that was fun. That's cool. Appreciate that. Patron John Abel asks, does anyone read the backup stories in the DC books? Do they like them? Do you guys like them? I tried initially, but now I generally just skip them. Do you like some of them, all of them, or none of them? Mike, I know what your answer is.
All of them.
All of them. He
Yeah.
loves everything
Well,
DC.
it's all history, so I want to know everything about every character. So that's just, and some of those backup stories you'd never get in
Yeah, it's
in
kind of
the
like
comic.
it's. I think it's because they've pared down what they're offering, and they're not really going out and taking a lot of risks with their titles. This is the way for them to take some risks in the backup stories. So I think occasionally we're going to get some fun stuff. Now, I've enjoyed the Justice League Dark and the back of Justice League. I thought that was pretty good. I like the young Wonder Woman stories in the back of Wonder Woman. I thought those were pretty good. Um, I don't care for the Batman backup story. Who is that person that they're trying to manufacture as a new Harley Quinn? Who is that? Um,
Oh, Punchline? No,
yeah,
but
yeah. I don't.
Punchline is in the Joker.
Yeah.
At least now
Okay.
she's in prison.
And so yeah, some of them I don't like. So I'm like half maybe. But
Well, I can
I like
see
the
how.
idea. We're gonna be paying $4.99 anyway. Um, that there's an occasionally going to be some something good in there that I like, you know.
Yeah, I'd
And
rather have more pages if they're gonna charge me 4.99 than not have it.
yeah, exactly.
Kind of like
Uh,
the Aftershock first issues. For some reason, those are, yeah, they put a card stock on it, but they charge an extra buck. And then
yeah.
the next issue's 3.99 again.
Now I was talking to Mike a while ago about putting together a top five of what our favorite comics are that we're reading right now from the first half of the year in DC, Image, Marvel, and Indie. We talked about it a while ago, and we were just trying to get our schedules to line up, and it kind of lined up pretty good for this episode. So we thought, well, let's do that now. And I didn't really give you any rules or anything. I just said, what's your top five DC, Image, Marvel, and Indie that you're reading, right?
Yeah.
Keep it
I,
keeping it pretty easy.
I kind of don't keep current on things like you do. So my list may be a
Well,
little
yeah, but
weird
you're still within 6 months or a year, aren't you?
on some of them.
Yeah.
But
Well, I was
I like know I keep track of everything I read for that podcast, so it's easy for me to pick out the things that stood out. What's really hard was the other because there's so much there
oh,
that
yeah.
if I go look across like all the things that really stood out, I have way more than five. But
I
the other ones
I
I didn't have a hard time with.
I struggled. I had way too many image books. That took forever to figure out what my favorite five were. The indie books, I had a lot of those. Um, DC was pretty easy, and then Marvel was tough to even come up with five because I'm not reading that much Marvel right now. So that was a challenge.
Same. Marvel was the toughest for me because everything I'm reading is like old.
So which one do you want to do first?
Why don't we do Marvel since
Yeah,
it was the
get it out.
toughest?
Okay,
You
do you
want?
want to do all five each, or do you want to alternate?
I think all five each would be easier. Do you
Okay,
want me
you
to
go
go
first.
first?
Yeah, you go first.
Well, I'm not caught up on a lot of Marvel, so but I am caught up on a few. Um, I rated Alien is up there. I really liked issues 1 and 2, and 3 just came out this week. I thought the covers, the art, and the story were very interesting with the father son stuff going on, and the son being part of that group that goes on to the space station and causes havoc. But
Yeah.
I really thought Aliens was top notch for me. Um, Power Pack, um, which is an unusual one, but I really like what they did there. They had the little member of Power Pack kind of give the synopsis of what happened in the previous issues by drawing characters in crayon, and they introduced some weird villains that they had to fight, and it sort of links up into the FF, the Future Foundation stuff, because one of the members was a part of that, and I really like the way they did that, and it links up to the Wizard too, which if you read the FF, you know that one of the Future Foundation's sons was part of that team.
Okay.
Yeah. Uh, I just recently did the Hellions, and I even though they weren't like a 5 out of 5, they were a high 4 out of 5. I like this book because it's just like Marvel's Suicide Squad. And what I mean by that is these characters are really bizarre, so they can do anything they want with them. It's got Mr. Sinister, um, some crazy characters called Orphan Maker and Nanny. They're just insane. It's like Grey Crow, Empath, and Wild Child. I mean, that's obscure. And then Psylocke. So Psylocke and Mr. Sinister and Havoc are kind of like the only ones that a lot of people would know. Um, and they go out on these missions, and they don't really care if they die or not because Krakoa can resurrect them. But the odd thing about Krakoa is it's only like the last time you downloaded your memories, so you would like forget everything that happened from that point forward. I like the concept of that, and I've always liked the concept of Suicide Squad. And then I have to jump into the past because I've been spending a lot of money and time on Deadpool and Cable. Um, I've been the Observations podcast has been very addictive to me, and it's led it's led me into these things that I normally wouldn't read, and I've been really enjoyed them. So I've started reading Deadpool, Merc with a Mouth, which is sort of Deadpool going to the Savage Land in the past, and AIM and Hydra following him there, and he's looking for a secret weapon, and it turns out that it's the Marvel Zombies Deadpool head, which is him trying to find his own Deadpool head because they want to weaponize it, and he wants to stop it. So it's a really cool series. And then Cable, I've just been reading like from issue 1 on, and I'm like on issue 35 or something like that. And I recently procured almost the entire run, so I'm kind of just reading through it as I go along. Those are the 5, and I'll probably start the new Cable, but he's a younger version of Cable, and he was sort of came from this Hellions legacy because the Fallen Angels sort of led into the Hellions and the Fallen Angel in terms of Psylocke and Mr. Sinister. So it kind of continued the series. So I'd like to see how Cable turned out because Cable was part of the Fallen Angels and he was de-aged.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah, those are my Marvel.
Well, for my fifth, I guess, ranked one is Silk. If I'm going from my 5 to 1, I guess. Um, I'm enjoying this reboot. I would say it's good, not great, but I am enjoying it, and I still continue to read it. And I like some issues better than others. My other was Nonstop Spider-Man. I'm really enjoying that. What Joe Kelly's doing with that. It's been fun. It's only a few issues in, but I've really enjoyed them.
I like it too. I like
Yeah.
it quite a bit. It's very fast paced,
Yes.
and the only thing is on Bacalo's art, sometimes it's so abstract I can't tell what's happening because it's moving so fast. But I like it.
Yeah, I do too. I had Alien, my third.
Hey, we
I
agree
really
on that.
enjoy that, and that made me go down a Mike Myers rabbit hole, and I watched all the movies, well, 4 or 5 of them,
I
and
heard that you were talking about that last
yeah,
episode. Yeah.
yeah. So because of that comic, I've revisited the movies, and for the most part, they hold up really well. Um, my second is Maestro. I've really enjoyed that. Both volumes of that Peter David revisiting Maestro and just kind of showing some origins and stuff. That's been really cool. I've enjoyed that a lot, and that makes me want to go back and read some of the other stuff that he did a long time ago because I missed out on that. So that's been fun. And number one for me is Black Cat. I've really
Oh,
enjoyed every issue of that. I love the way it's the storytelling style of Jed McKay's, and so it really got me hopeful for his Moon Knight coming up. And but it's been my favorite. And I
yeah.
was
I actually want to get into that one because I've heard nothing but good.
Yeah, I think you'd like it. I didn't really have any honorable mentions. I was like, cause I was struggling to get my 5 in Marvel. I'm hoping. I started reading that event title, Heroes Reborn. It's pretty good. I guess
Yeah.
that could have been an honorable mention for me. I'm gonna
Well,
pick and shoot.
Daredevil and Immortal Hulk are not honorable mentions. They'd probably be in my top 5. I just haven't read those since January.
Gotcha.
So that's why I didn't include them.
That
But
makes sense.
I love those 2 books. Those ones are top notch for me.
I fell off of both of those. I should probably give them another read, but I think Immortal's ending, right?
Immortal's ending and yeah, it's got 2 more issues I think
Yeah.
from
Can
the
always
solicits.
That'll be a good omnibus. What should we
Yeah,
go?
I double dip on that one. I get the hardcovers and the because I like it so much.
That's cool.
Yeah.
It's a special book when that happens.
Yeah, because it's easier to just tap into the shelf than it is to dig in a box.
You need you need an intern. Hey, go get
Yeah.
me oh
I would love an intern just to help me do the comic
pro
maintenance. It takes a lot of time.
just processing, right?
Yeah. Yeah. It's a lot of it eats about 5 hours every Sunday. That's how much books I get.
But you and you record for 5 hours for Geek
So
Brunch on Sundays, right?
sometimes it's more like close to 8 because I usually record Sunday and Sunday night. Those are the times I record. I usually have 6 days off and I record Sundays. So it's like a podcast day and comic maintenance day.
What publisher should we go to next?
I'll let you pick. I picked the first one.
Let's go to DC then. And I'll go first, I guess, this time. For my fifth book, I picked Hellblazer: Rise and Fall, the Tom Taylor. Um, it was a Black Label, three
That was
issue.
good. Yeah.
Really enjoyed that a lot.
A creepy kid, man.
That was a creepy kid. I have a Future State book on there here, Superman versus Imperious Lex.
That's on my list too.
I thought that was a great comic, really well done, and my favorite of the Future State books. Joker is my number 3. It probably could be number 2. But it's really good, really strong, great, fantastic art, and I really like the story. And it's just a really cool take on Gordon and tracking down the Joker. It's really fun. And then Rorschach is my number 2. I'm enjoying that a lot. It's a very unique book. I like what they're doing. And I like everything in the Watchmen world, no matter how tenuous. And number 1 is Nightwing. I think I've read 3. I just read 80, so I've read 3 of Tom Taylor's books, and since he's taken over, and I've really loved all of them, and he's doing a really fantastic job with the character, and I love how he's using Oracle in there. I love he had Tim Drake in this last one that was really well used. So it's been fun, and that's my favorite on the DC side.
You got 2 great writers there, that's for sure. You got a lot of them. We matched on 3 titles, which is pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Future State Superman versus Imperious Lex was incredible. I loved it so much because it had that political intrigue, and I thought it took like both cases, like the United Planets seemed kind of democratic, but not. In other words, they were swayed so easily.
Yeah.
Like Lois would say something and they'd say, okay. It was very weird politically, like how somebody could control something. And then there you had Lex on the other planet trying to control his people through fake news. And it read like across the way, like the Starbelly Sneetches or something. It had like a Dr. Seuss vibe in its storytelling, and I just loved it. It was so good.
Yeah.
That was incredible. Joker, I agree totally. I was 5 out of 5. I've only read 1 and 2, but the introduction of Bane's daughter and the Commissioner Gordon stuff is really well done. And then the punchline in jail, that I even like the backup there.
Yeah.
The Rorschach, I wasn't sure how I was gonna like it because it was Tom King, but man, it's deep, and it's deep on so many levels, especially if you're a comic fan, because it has Frank Miller in it, it has Steve Ditko in it, and Steve Ditko is sort of the obscure weird dude that's working with that cowgirl, and it's so bizarre, but yet fits into the Watchmen continuity. I love it.
Now I didn't recognize that right off the bat. Did you recognize that right away? I had to have somebody tell me that.
No, I recognized it,
Yeah,
but
I did not.
I'm a Steve Ditko addict. Like I know all his work, especially on the DC stuff. And then, Spider-Man and Doctor Strange, of course. And then I knew what a recluse he is. There's a lot of books about him, and he in his letters and stuff, and his like political stuff that I would read from time to time.
Oh
So I was
wow.
like, this is so it's so him.
Yeah.
Um, Zach Crucy wrote about him. I don't know if you've been around the podcasting circle for a long time. Zach Cruz, um, he shows up on 11 o'clock comics from time to time, but he actually did his thesis on Steve Ditko, and you can buy his book on that. But
That's
yeah,
cool.
it's really credible, the Rorschach. I loved it. And then the ones that weren't like mind blowing, but they were high up there was the Hawkman, like Venditti, and then all the art teams that worked on it. It was really an incredible story, and from beginning to end, and it
Yeah.
finished this year. And every issue was top quality. Really enjoyed that, and how Hawkman can exist across like different areas that he like introduced it, that there could be multiple Hawkmans at any one given time. It's not just like he dies and comes back and resurrected like Jeff Johns did, but there could be multiple instances of him and Hawk Girl, which is really incredible. And then Suicide Squad, oh my God, it's off to top notch because of Peacemaker. I love that character so much. He's so crazy. Um, like that's why I love like you taught me something in DC just this year, and it blew my mind. You posted Inferior 5 is back,
Oh
and I
yeah,
was like,
yeah.
what? Because I was so angry because they stopped printing it, and it came back digitally, and the backup was Peacemaker, and it was leading to uh, the same area where the Inferior 5 characters were located. And yeah, I just love Peacemaker, and I think the actor who's gonna play him, which is I forget what his name is, but he he's gonna nail it because Peacemaker is pretty much insane. He's willing to kill everybody and everything for peace. It makes no sense, the irony of it. Um, and then just the first two issues held to its name, because the squad that Peacemaker goes into was almost entirely annihilated. So it's really good. I highly recommend it.
And you like
And I
this volume better than the Tom Taylor run and the one
oh,
before
the
that?
Tom Taylor one was another 5 out of 5. It
Yeah.
was incredible. He introduced so many characters. Like
Right.
Tom Taylor's just he can do no wrong. Him and Mark Russell, like at least for me, Mark Russell wrote that Future State Superman
Yeah.
versus Lex. There's something in their writing that just really clicks with me, like on so many levels. And I think Tom Taylor can do no wrong. I haven't dipped my toe into Nightwing, but I have it. I wanted to finish the Rick Grayson before I got to that, which I still need to finish. But the way I want to read it sequential before I get into his run.
Oh, that makes
So
sense.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
But
some of
yeah,
the
we had three of the same. That's pretty interesting.
yeah.
We got
Oh,
Tom King and Tinian or Tynan and uh,
Mark
Mark Russell.
Russell, Tom Taylor, yeah, some of the
Yeah.
really strong writing. Some of the honorable mentions that didn't quite make it. I'm really enjoying the Super Sons book, but I think that's more of my love of Super Sons than of that volume in particular. It's been okay. It's kind of like it's not been great, but I still really enjoy it. I like that new Crime Syndicate. I've enjoyed that.
I
It's
want to
been
dip my toe in that so bad. It
uh,
looks so good.
I think you'd really like it. And then
Yeah.
Batman the Detective is really good, but I didn't want to put another. Tom Taylor on the list.
I would.
So I was like, I want to do spread the love around a little bit. Tom Taylor can only get 2 slots.
Yeah. There's two characters that never well, there's three things. Suicide Squad. I've never read a bad Suicide Squad. Maybe I'm just so like Suicide Squad's one of my favorite DC movies. I love that movie. But the ones that I always like are Batman. Like almost any Batman book that's
Yeah.
published, I do I like it. I like it or love it. So it's like there's not one that and Swamp Thing is the other character that they can seem no matter who takes over, I like it or love it. So yeah, there's a couple of characters that I just never can read a bad story.
Yeah, and I think that helps too, right? But then the flip to that is if it's a character you're like meh on, but the writer can elevate that to even if you don't really like the character, but you love that book because of their writing. That's pretty cool. Like I had
Yeah.
no interest in Superman versus Imperious Lex. I had no interest in that, and Mark Russell made me love that book. I mean, it was all him.
Well, it was so good because it had everything. It had action, it
Hmm.
had humor with the the little robot that hangs out with Lex
Yeah,
that really screwed things up for him in the end.
yeah, that was great.
Yeah, it's just incredible. Like I liked it. And I like the fact that he plays in this book he played it like he made both parties look bad in my opinion. If you look at like how he represented the United Planets and then how he represented Lex Luthor. It's there was no good guy except for Superman and Lois and that robot because of his innocence.
Yeah,
The robot was totally innocent, but because he loved Lex so much, but he didn't. When he thought he was doing good, he really wasn't doing good. I love that book. It was artistically beautiful too.
yeah. Oh,
Wasn't it
yeah.
Pugh? I think it was Pugh, but I'm not sure.
I think you might be right.
Steve Pugh. He's really good.
All right, you pick the next.
Let's go to Image.
Okay.
My Image was easy. This was the easiest category I had. No particular order, but Ha Ha has been almost like the most incredible Image title I've read in a long time. It's so unique. It's creepy. It's scary. It's depressing. It's everything that I don't know. It has almost every emotion in it. It has
Yeah,
humor. Everyone has like this weird humor, twisted humor. I don't know how he could come up with all these concepts with clowns and make it so interesting.
he's a
But
strange dude.
it, it's really incredible. I mean, the mime issue, and then there's the one with the daughter and the
Was that the
woman who's sort
Harlequin?
of a prostitute. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was a tough one. That was a tough one.
Yeah, and then the one at the beginning where he just gets laid off by his boss because the clown place is closing down.
Yeah.
And then you have one that is like a take on Up, but it's like really twisted with the balloons
Oh.
and the alcoholic clown. Like I just oh man, it's just I love that book so
I,
much, so many levels.
it's like one level too depressing, I think. If it was like if it had a happy ending occasionally, that'd be nice.
I I don't know. It is really depressing. But it's not well, the first issue ended up okay and the second
Yeah,
one ended up dark because the daughter kind of flew into the mom's footsteps
yeah.
because she became a stripper. But and then the mime one was very depressing. It was incredibly depressing with that robot. That was probably the most depressing one for me. And then the alcoholic clown, but it had a happy ending, I think. in terms of the father and the grandson kind of uniting over that kite. Like he would never want to go see his grandfather, and I think his grandfather was depressed from losing his wife, very much in the vein of that movie Up by Pixar.
Mm-hmm.
And I think at the end during his birthday, I think that had a happy ending. Not for the clown, but for for the son and the grandfather. So Ha-Ha's been incredible. Um, Carmen is my next one. It's very unique, but it
Yeah.
has my
Oh yeah.
favorite artist, Gilliam March, who's doing the Joker as well, and he was doing Batman. I have been following Gilliam March since he came on the scene, and I adore his art. Like I even go
Yeah.
sometimes seek out like his hardcovers that come from Europe because
And,
I he's
and
amazing.
his art's always been good, but I think Carmen is next level good. Like the it's just really amazing what he's doing with this book.
What I can't believe I've read him writing, and his writing really clicks to me, but I don't know if he has like a translator translate or how he writes,
Yeah.
but his writing on Carmen is so many you'll see a lot of themes. These books are deep. Like the clown one, it's deep emotionally. Carmen is deep emotionally too because it's about a girl that's sort of depressive, that kills herself, and then some things happen. But it just the concepts that it's like talking about are really deep. I mean, they're incredibly deep on so many levels. And these books you can actually talk about for hours.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
just concepts. Like I'll tell Barb these stories because I just have to release like this all these things that are coming across my head, and that's incredible. The other one is Reckless, which is an Ed Brubaker hardcover.
Ah, that was so good.
It's
So good.
amazing.
I
I think
forgot
the
about that. Yeah.
format is fantastic, and it's so addictive.
Yeah,
Ed
that's the second
Brubaker can
one,
write
right?
crime. Yeah, the first and second one I read this year.
Yeah, they were both
Yeah,
good. Yeah, yeah, really, really, really great. I mean, all his stuff is pretty darn good. But
yeah. The next one is I would have never guessed would be on my list. Like I wouldn't even think it. But Radiant Black is
yeah,
clicking on with me. It's so many freaking levels. It's like
it's
reading
good.
like an Invincible again. It's like, oh God, when I read issue 3 with the writer's block, I was so blown away. Like
Oh yeah,
the whole issue's about writer's block, but it, man, I was like, this book has so many levels with his friend, the father-son relationship, because I would be a lot like the father, like, son, you gotta do something.
get out there, get a
Get out
job,
there,
man.
get a job. But he wants to be a writer, but he loves his son. He's like, you can stay here as long as you work, as long as you work. And but I love that, and I love his buddy, his friend that's
Yeah,
works at the video store, and there's just like really subtleties. There's the subtlety that made me laugh, like when he's on his computer and he's watching the video that came out during COVID of that judge that came on as a cat, and he didn't know how to switch it off. He's like, I'm not really a cat. That I couldn't, I couldn't stop laughing that they were making fun of that because I couldn't stop watching the video when it happened. So yeah, Radiant Black. Oh, it's like the underdog for me that um, it came out of nowhere. And
and
then last is Savage Dragon. But everybody knows I love Eric Larson, and I'm a compulsive with his art, his humor, his storytelling. He's a little nasty at times, but it makes me laugh. It's his Malcolm and his girlfriend are very sexual. They're very sexual, and yeah, it's a really fun book. and you never know what you're going to get. And this year they had the one that made the funnies. They had like a Charlie Brown knockoff on it.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it was so well done. It took off like Family Circus and all kinds of different comics. It was really crazy.
What number is he on? It's getting close to another milestone, isn't it?
He just
See-
passed 250. He's heading towards 300 like McFarlane just did. And
Yeah.
McFarlane's got he can do no wrong too. But I'm compulsive with the Image creators, the guys that created Image. But that's my list.
So even like Will Portacio and Valentino, all those guys, you go
Oh,
after their stuff.
I love Valentino. Yeah. Wills is probably the only one that was the original that I'm not like, but it's he came on. He was very sporadic because his family was going
Yeah.
through some trauma and Wetworks was having issues. So he didn't come out of the gate like the other guys did. But like Silvestri and Liefeld, I am a fanatic of all their stuff. So yeah.
Oh yeah, I love that era. That was a crazy era, man.
It was a crazy area and it was a crazy speculating era, and then you had
Yeah.
Valiant and Image just exploding, and I was in college and they were a
Yep.
stress relief, and yeah, it was
And
a good time.
for me, this was a challenge. There's just way too many great books on this list to try to get beyond the five, but I picked five. Stillwater is the Chip Zdarsky creator owned about a town where the residents cannot die. And simple concept, seems like a Twilight Zone episode, but it's just as layer after layer after layer, some great characters, awesome book.
Well,
Uh,
he's another artist that became a writer that's really good.
yeah, you
Like
you always
like
wonder
like
about that.
it was always like, oh, this is an artist. Can he really write? And he's like writing Daredevil, and he's doing all this stuff. He's over at DC now writing Justice League mini.
Hmm.
He is very prolific and very good. He's got to be in the top 5 or 10 for me.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
he's really good. I put Walking Dead on here because although it's not totally new content, um, I'm getting to experience Walking Dead in a single issue format for the first time because I just plowed through trades and hardcovers. I didn't catch it in single issue format the first time, and so I really appreciate it in a whole new light now. Uh,
Because it's a different experience when you read it in a chunk versus
oh yeah,
individually. Yeah.
and anybody who says Walking Dead was written for the trade doesn't know what they're talking about. It's a beautiful single issue experience, and
Probably one of the best.
yeah, I'd rank him right up there with like a Brian K. Vaughan as far as putting together the single issue experience for a reader. Really great stuff. I've really enjoyed Donny Cates' crossover. It's been really cool the way he pulls in these other Image characters and other comic characters and into like doing cameos. I'm not sure how he gets away with the copyright infringement
Oh,
and stuff.
he credits them.
Uh,
Well, he credits most of them. If they're
yeah,
like a Superman Batman knockoff, then I guess you can consider that humor. I don't know, and get
yeah,
away with it. But there's so many derivative characters. As long as you don't show certain things, you can get away with it.
yeah. He's used some of his old characters from some of his other works too. He slips those in there, and that's fun little Easter eggs to run over. Um, it's really been fun. The art style with the dot pitch is really cool. It was surprised. I was surprised how much I really enjoyed this one. He's gotten way better. He started in creator owned, and his stuff was good, not great.
I don't
But then
know. I think his early stuff was top notch for
like
me.
like Redneck and
No, no, I'm talking about like his early Dark Horse stuff, Ghost Fleet, and the
Okay.
uh the other one with the drug addict superhero. I forget what that one's called, but
Okay.
those
You're
ones
beyond. You're before
knocked
me.
my socks off.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
before. I guess I was thinking of maybe the middle tier stuff before we went big two, or went Marvel. Um, so yeah, I'll have to check those out actually. Um, for me, after that is Ice Cream Man. So if you like Aha or Haha, you'll definitely like Ice Cream Man. It always takes on really interesting themes and turns something on its head by the end of the issue. And
This
uh,
guy's creative, huh? Like
oh,
he's really creative.
yeah, it's what W Maxwell Prince.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, he's
he's awesome. And number one for me is Carmen. Uh, 3 or 4 issues in, and I'm blown away. I'm blown away
yeah.
with the art. I'm blown away with the story. I'm blown away with how much I care about the characters in this story. It's fantastic. Um,
It's world building too because it's like
oh yeah,
she leads people to their death. I mean,
yeah.
she's like the transition. It's incredible.
Now my honorable mentions. Buckle up because I loved Nailbiter Returns. It's fantastic. Stray Dogs about had me in tears with this latest issue. Die 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 finished up this year and was amazing. Radiant Black is fantastic. Post Americana, Steve Scroce's doing some amazing stuff there. Rick Remender's Scumbag and Deadly Class are must reads. They're really fantastic. I love that Shadecraft, what they're doing with comas and shadows. It's awesome. Mirka Andolfo, her Deep Beyond is really awesome. Uh,
Yeah.
and I didn't like the way she finished Unnatural. I didn't think that she did a very good job of ending that one. But this Deep Beyond is really really good. Um, Kirkman's Firepower is really really cool. Kung fu action.
Yeah.
I was surprised how much I'm into that.
I read the
Um,
prequel first and
yeah.
it seemed so Iron Fisty and then at the end of that it's sort of the tweak on it.
Oh
Like
yeah.
yeah. It almost felt like when I read you know how the first one was released in a trade or the
Yeah.
prequel? It almost felt like when he was at Marvel that he had this pitch for Iron Fist and then he like morphed it into his own.
Yeah. He probably
Um,
didn't want to waste that story idea.
yeah, yeah, that's what it seems like.
Noctera. Scott Snyder's
That
Noctera.
that one's really good, both in terms of art and story. I like
Yeah,
that one.
it's really good. Geiger's really good. I I've only read a couple of those issues, but it's really good.
I
Um,
hope to read that this weekend.
and I just had one issue each for Time Before Time, which is great. Hey Kids Comics, the new volume just launched. It's great. And Good Asian is great noir, man. It's Brubaker level noir. So um, there's there's tons of stuff. Image that is great reads, and I was tough to squeeze in a top five here.
Yeah.
Let's slide over to the indie books, and because I think I'm a little all in almost on Image. It does eat into my Marvel options and my indie options. I still read a lot of DC, but some of the indie stuff has kind of fallen off. I don't keep current with that as much or as quickly. So this was a little tougher, but I really enjoy Undone by Blood. The
Oh,
other side,
that was so good.
it's been such a good comic. Um, I just love the way it's telling multiple tales throughout. It's just really clever and well executed. Resident Alien has a new volume that's issue 6 is now out, and it's called Your Ride's Here. And I love all these volumes. Um, I think they've done a good job of capturing the essence of these comics for the
Have you
show.
been watching the show?
Yeah, I enjoyed that
Does it
season.
translate well or what?
Yes,
How's that? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it does translate well. I had forgotten some of the. It's been so long since I read that first volume that I had forgotten some of those early plot points, and it was really fun to revisit them. And um, what's his name? The guy that plays him does a fantastic job.
Yeah, he's from Firefly. I like
Yeah,
him.
yeah, Alan Tudyk.
Yeah.
Um, he's in Doom Patrol. Does a good job in that.
Yeah, and he was in that sitcom superhero thing for DC that didn't last long. I don't know
Oh,
if you saw it, but it was a comedy, but they would have like these really obscure DC characters show up, and he owned a company that would like market them and stuff. It was crazy.
is it on HBO Max?
No, it was a regular primetime show. It
I
didn't
don't remember
last
that.
long. It didn't even make like the mid-season renewal. It was like 6 issues, six
I don't.
episodes.
I don't remember that. Scout's Honor finished up, and Scout's Honor was really good concept. And I, I thought he did a good job of finishing that up. Just kind of telling this scout story in a future post-apocalyptic landscape. It really worked. And nuclear family, kind of the same deal. Post-apocalyptic. This family wakes up, and 10 years has passed, and the world's changed from their bomb shelter, and now they're being accused of being communists. It's really an interesting take. I like it. And for me, the best indie I'm reading right now is Dead Dog's Bite, and that's Tyler Voss doing
That's
that.
Dark Horse, right?
Yeah, yeah, I think so. And yeah, I just really like. It's only 3 issues in so far, but I've really enjoyed. I love his art style. He does a lot of 9, 12 panel grids, and I love the stories, the way he tells stories, and the way he emotes with his art. And he puts humor and action in his art, kind of uniquely, like a Steve Lieber does. And I love that style. And this story is compelling. He's a girl looking for her missing best friend and finding out secrets of this town. So it's really been good. Um, I almost put Many Deaths of Layla Starr, but I only read 2 issues of that so far, so that didn't quite make it. Spectre Inspector is an all ages book that I'm reading over at Boombox, and I've really enjoyed it. But it is a little light. I don't know if it'll be everybody's bag. I do like the Black Hammer Visions, where different writers and are coming in and taking a whack at Jeff Lemire's Black Hammer characters. That's been fun. And there's this book called Casual Fling about a casual fling that went wrong. And that's about 4 issues in, I think, now. And things are getting really tense. It's a good book too. Lots of fun stuff in the back half of previews.
Yeah. Just shout outs to AWA. They
Oh,
can almost do no wrong.
yep,
Aftershock is up there. Some of my top reads are Aftershock.
yep.
Behemoth came out of nowhere. I freaking am loving their stuff. And Scout and Vault, they're really good.
Yeah, I think
But
the comic industry is the future is bright in
yeah.
with the new publishers and some of these creators that they're finding.
Mhm. Well, you had a couple of Aftershocks in yours, and mine was littered with Aftershocks, but I'm just gonna mention the one that stood out is one of my favorites, and that's Dead Day. You think that's another take on zombies, but it's not. Uh, it's the concept that every like 5.5 years, or sometimes it varies more than that, um, the dead come back to life, and it could be a blessing or it could be a curse. The dead come back, so if your grandfather comes back, you could sit there and talk to him. Yes, you might look a little rotted, but you can talk to him. And this concept this world building concept is amazing because the writer attacks it. He tries to show you like glimpses or little pieces of the world while you're focusing on one family, and the one family sort of this a married couple where the woman wants to go visit her dead boyfriend that she was going to marry that got killed because he was part of a heist, and she wants him to get revenge on the person that killed her boyfriend, and then brings that evil back to her house and to her kids. And then one of the sons sneaks out on dead day and then ends up with a girl because he wants to score with her, and she turns out to be in this dead day cult, which is insane. And then there's like mercenaries that are out that just go out on the Day of the Dead just to slaughter the dead, and the only way they can kill them is sort of burn them to a crisp because they'll come back in 5.5 years. And he shows you glimpses of, like, there's one scene where a bunch of dead are coming back to a prison because that warden was evil. He doesn't really get into it, but they attack the prison, and then there's a serial killer that comes back. And I really like the way it's done, because it's like Walking Dead, except you're not fighting the zombies. Sometimes they're good, and it just, they're not zombies. They're just dead people coming back to life. They can talk, they can walk. They're just rotting, and really good stuff. I thought it was incredible.
I have that one stacked up, ready to read, and I haven't done it yet. So it sounds like I need to move it up.
I think it's a great one to let it stack up.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be like, if you read it like a trade, that's how I read it. It reads really well. I read the singles just back to back to back, and it was incredible. Yasmin came out of nowhere. It's from Scout. This is about a girl that gets caught up with the ISIS, and they kill her uncle, and her family escapes to America, but she's stuck there. And it's pretty brutal because she does get raped and stuff like that, but she does escape. And when she escapes, she shows up in high school in America, and she's treated like crap, but she has like this bright side to her that's really incredible. And there's one party she goes to. This is just part of the book, but she goes to a party, and she sees this girl, one of her friends, get drunk, and she gets sort of like date raped, and they take pictures of that happening because the boy thinks it's funny. And Yasmin and her mother do like this investigation where they try to track down everywhere where the post went and destroy everything, so that girl isn't like suicidal, which I thought was really incredible. But the story is just so deep. It's so emotional, and it's such a good, and it gives you a lot of insight to the culture. I think it's really incredible. I really loved Yasmin from Scout.
Yeah, I had that one on my list ever since you mentioned it on your podcast, because you were raving about that. I was like, man, I got to check that out.
Yeah, it was mind blowing. The first issue is a little, if I had to judge by the first issue, this is what I told Bill. It was so time sliced, like it was jumping around so much. It was kind of hard to follow. But once you see how it links from the beginning, the first issue, to the end, it's incredible. It's an incredible first issue. But you have to kind of like absorb the entire series to see what a gem that is, the first issue. But Gung Ho is my favorite. I keep caught up. What I like to think of this as a post-apocalyptic world, but it's like, if you like the show Cobra Kai, you're gonna love Gung Ho. Like, it's incredible. It's a post-apocalyptic world where there's these forts that are set up with human population, and you're protected within the fort, but they get attacked by these like white wolf creatures that are all over the place, and there's a lot of them. And it's about two brothers that escape into this one fortress, and then one's banned and one has to be there, and there's two factions of kids. And it reads like Cobra Kai. It's like so. I don't know if a lot of people have seen Cobra Kai on Netflix, but it's like addictive. You like watch one, you have to watch another, you have to watch another, and that's like what this thing is from Ablaze. It is so good. The next one I have is Crimson Flower, which is a very weird art style, but I think his name is Matt Lewinsky. Me and Bill met him at a convention. He has a very unique style, but it's incredibly artistic. Like you could see like a panel made out of this guy's beard. It's just it's mind blowing, and it's really cool because it's about a woman that works for a pharmaceutical company, and she's using the pharmaceutical company to track down her father's killer. So really good story. I love it.
What's that one
And
called?
that's Crimson Flower.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, it's Dark Horse and it's Matt Kent. Um, Another one honorable mention is Fear Case. I really like that. And ENIAC was really good. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle: The Last Ronin's incredible. Aftershock, I had Kaiju Score and Undead by Blood. Humanoids, I had Space Bastards. And from Hero Tomorrow, I had Bloom. Uh, Bloom is one that I think you would really dig. It is so different. I can't even explain it. It's one of those things I can't explain, but it reads like an indie film about a guy
Huh.
that's creating a comic book, and he meets this like hippie woman that dances for like bands, and he wants to take pictures of her so he can draw her as the villain. And it's just so twisted, and it has like elements of horror, and I don't know. There's just it's really good. I really like that one. I gave that one like um, it blew my mind because it just felt so different. Like, how could somebody think of this idea and make a comic book of it? It's so original. And then Necromorphos is incredible, but the one that made my list that I forgot to mention is Dragon Hoops. This is a hardcover from First Second. It's by Jean Ling Yang.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
he's done Superman. He's doing Superman Batman right now. He's known for winning the Eisner Award for Chinese. What was it? American Born Chinese.
American Born Chinese, yeah, and he did
Yeah,
Superman smashes the Klan.
yeah, he did that.
Yeah.
He's really prolific and he makes a lot of money. Like, I don't know how he made a lot of money to put out like Dragon Hoops. Like, they hired him he was a teacher at the school and he didn't even like basketball, but it's like one of those things where basketball was the culture, kind of like Friday Night Lights is the culture in Texas. Well, basketball was this private school's like life, and he got so ingrained in it, and he learned it's about him learning basketball and him learning about all the players and the diversity of the players and how the coaches work and the controversy of the previous coach, and it's really incredible. I'd highly recommend it. It's probably like 500 to 1,000 pages, but it's highly worth it.
That's cool. Now, how often do you grab a hardcover or an OGN as opposed to like your stack of Wednesday Warrior comics that that never ends?
Well, this was a geek brunch thing, and me and Bill both had it.
Yeah,
So part of you know how you kind of had our what we're talking about, like our top five. Well, me
yeah.
and Bill kind of pick our books that we're gonna read ahead of time, and I don't like to be scheduled on what I'm reading, but me and Bill have such like a similar like and dislike. There's stuff that he loves and I don't, and there's stuff I love that he doesn't, but we see eye to eye on a lot of things. So when he picked this, we picked it over like the holiday, so because we knew it was like 1,000 pages.
Yeah.
So we like said let's do this one over Christmas break or whatever. And yeah, it was highly worth it. I'd highly recommend it, especially if you're into sports. By the way, I wanted to ask you one quick question before we get into the main part of the show. But did you see that Pittsburgh Pirates play? Cause aren't you a Pittsburgh Steelers fan?
Yeah, just the Steelers,
Okay.
none of the other Pittsburgh teams.
Did you see the fiasco they did?
Was
They
that
had 2 outs, and
the
instead of
first
the guy,
baseman?
yeah,
Yeah,
oh my
yeah,
God, it
yeah,
looked like the Bad News Bears in breaking training. It looked crazy.
yeah. The guy just forgot where he was and what was going on. He was clueless. That was pretty funny.
Oh my God, I laughed like a lot. I can't stop watching the video. I've never seen anything like that. Like he
Well,
was just
you probably have it in
jogging.
Little League.
It's like he had no concept that the guy from second was already rounding and gonna slide into home.
No, he was
He's just
just
concentrating on gonna tag this guy out.
exactly. Yeah, it was great. But yeah, I don't follow Pittsburgh Penguins hockey or
Or the
Pittsburgh Pirates
baseball.
baseball. Yeah, I'm a Cincinnati Reds fan for baseball, and hockey I don't care about much. So
Yeah, I knew you were a Steeler fan. I wasn't sure if you were if
yeah,
it was global or not.
yeah, not global. We are close. We are close to Pittsburgh, but not that close, I guess.
Yeah.
Now it's time to take a look at the cover price top 20. Do you want to take the top 10 or the bottom 10?
I'll let you pick whichever one you want to do.
All right, I'll take the top 10 then. Kyle
Okay.
usually snags this from me, so I'll take this one. At number 10, we have the Uncanny X-Men 213 from 1981. This issue features the first cameo appearance of Mr. Sinister in silhouette and marks the first time that Psylocke joins the team with a classic Wolverine Sabretooth cover. This sold 22 copies and had a high sale of $53 for a high-grade raw copy. So that's pretty attainable still for people.
Yeah, but it's way expensive more than it was a year ago.
Oh yeah. Yeah, for sure.
See what here's what I think people should be doing from a speculator point is they should be stocking X-Men books like crazy. And the reason I say that is because once Disney adapts the X-Men, I think they're just gonna blow up in the back market.
So get that Grant Morrison run of new X-Men with all those weird characters.
Any of the first appearances of any character, because you don't know what's gonna appear.
Yeah. Most of them are gobbled though. They're keys already, right? Like Gambits and
those ones are really high, but honest to goodness, I started buying a lot of X-Men about probably about 3 or 4 years ago, and they were all under $20. I mean,
yeah. Affordable future keys, man. That's the way to go. At rank 9, we have Infamous Iron Man #1 from 2016. This is the first appearance of Victor Von Doom as Iron Man and the Tony Stark AI. This is trending because of strong speculation that Robert Downey Jr. will be the AI for Riri Williams.
Yeah, they have also said that the toy is doing some kind of indication. They just recently came out with the Iron Man IA toy too.
Yeah, so that makes a sense. They can still keep Robert Downey Jr. around and not have to do a crazy reboot of any kind. That makes sense to me. It sold 23 copies and had a high sale of $30 for a raw, so you can still get in on the ground floor there. At rank 8, we have Batman Fortnite 0.3, number 3. More Fortnite. The third issue is selling well because of the Catwoman pickaxe. It sold 95 copies and had a high raw sale of $42. These Fortnite kids are crazy.
Plus, it's got Snake Eyes and Batman together. I think that's important. We may never see that ever again.
They're making a big deal about it, I guess. So, yeah. Rank 7, we have Spider-Man Unlimited #1 from 93. This is still benefiting from the Let There Be Carnage trailer. This first appearance of Shriek. sold 54 copies, and had a high sale of $3.89 for a CGC 98. At rank 6, we have Ghost Rider 31 from 1992. Issue 28 is the first cameo appearance of the Midnight Suns. This is the first full appearance of the Midnight Suns, the Caretaker, Lilith, and Meat Market. After issue 38 shot up so quickly, collectors learned about this key issue and bought 46 copies, which had a high sale of $70 for a CGC 94. At rank 5, we have Nemesis #1 from 2010. This is reported by comicbook.com that Mark Millar was doing an interview, and he said the script for Nemesis, Emerald Fennell, who just won an Oscar for Best Screenplay for Promising Young Woman, has just developed the latest draft of the Nemesis screenplay, which is extremely cool. That first issue sold 15 copies and had a raw sale of $36. I don't remember that one at all. Do you know Nemesis?
Yeah, I have all of the Miller World books, so.
Yeah, I don't remember that one. That was 2010. I think I was just getting into comics again then. Rank 4, we have Red Room #1. The new Dark series. There's truly nothing like this series on the shelves, and it was instantly hot. It sold 58 copies and had a high raw sale of $15. At rank 3, we have Mech Cadet U from 2017. It was announced that Netflix has ordered an animated series based on this Mech Cadet comic. This news sold 12 measly copies, and had a high raw sale of $40. Rank 2, we have Ghost Rider #2 from 1990. This has the first appearance of Blackout, who is speculated as potentially being a strong villain contender. Despite this being unconfirmed, buyers still picked up 48 of these and had a high sale of $152 for a CGC 98. And #1 is the Ghost Rider 28, which is the first full cameo appearance of the Midnight Suns. This sold 63 copies and had a high sale of $500 for a CGC 98. Wow. How do you come down on the cameo versus first full appearance? What's your take there?
I like the first full appearance.
Yeah, me too.
The cameo, it's like the Hulk 181 versus the Hulk 180.
Right.
And I'll use that paradigm with every book.
Yes, exactly.
I think the meat and potatoes there in the first full appearance, not just because there's an image or a silhouette of something.
Yes.
But that's not to say supply and demand. It just depends on what drives it.
Right.
So yeah, you never know. That's why they call it speculation. You're guessing, just like the stock market.
It's true.
Yeah. For these ones, I had every single one except for Mech Cadet. That's the only one I don't have. So for the runners-up, we have Rick and Morty, The Vindicators from Oni. And according to the Hollywood Report, Rick and Morty spin-off, The Vindicators, set in Adult Swim. This issue is their first appearance in comics, creating an uptick in sales with 19 copies and had a 7-day trend of 215%, and had a high sale of $67.50 for CGC 9.8. And there's also a great ECCC Jen Bartel cover for this issue. So that's pretty interesting. They just do a Hollywood Report on something and then it skyrockets. I often wonder if this is somebody reporting on it, and then the 19 copies sold are all speculators trying to get in early on it.
I guess.
I sometimes wonder.
Yeah.
So yes, speculation's a lot of work. So the people that work the hardest are going to make the most money. Amazing Spider-Man 258. This is a significant key issue in regards to the Spider-Man-Venom relationship. This issue is where Peter discovers that his costume is alive and trying to bond with them. It sets the table for Venom's introduction 41 issues later. It sold 37 copies, had a 7-day trend of 137%, and had a high sale of $100 for a CGC 9.4. I wonder why comics and books and stuff like that always don't round up. Do you know the history of that? Like, why
No.
is it $3.99 and not just $4? What's that penny? Like, what? I would sure like to track that down.
What do you mean for like if it's sale price? Just
Yeah.
retail? Oh, that's just marketing because
No, but why is it 1 penny? Like, what difference? Why? If I was just there, I said, why not round it up?
because
Make
when
it whole.
when Joe Sixpack looks at a price, if it's $3.99 and it's significantly cheaper than a $4 book.
It's a penny.
But in his head, in the average person's head, that's significantly cheaper. That's a better deal.
I don't think significantly cheaper. They'd have to save a lot of pennies to make $1. So
But if
I don't know.
you might not buy something for $4, but if it's only $3.99, you might.
I don't. That's never stopped me.
Oh no, you're a different person.
A penny has never stopped me. Now, if you said like $5 or $3 or even a
Right.
buck, then maybe. But a penny. Strange Tales 170 featuring Brother Voodoo. I wish I had this one. If you can't afford the first appearance, then get the second appearance with this issue is the key to focus on, with expectations of him showing up in Doctor Strange 2. It sold 14 copies, had a 7-day trend of 284%, and a high sale of $224.50 for a high-grade raw copy. We have at number 14, the Uncanny X-Men 213, as noted above. This issue features the first cameo appearance, so he's in silhouette, and also marks the first time Psylocke joins the team. The direct edition sold with 43 copies, but the newsstand beat this edition's 7-day trend of 111%. However, did not have a high sale of $375 of CGC 9.8. I wonder why. I don't. CGC is just a sore thing with me for some reason. It seems like a scam. You have to press this. You have to do this. You have to pay for shipping. You have to hope the book doesn't get damaged in shipping as it gets to CGC. CGC then slabs it, hopefully giving you the grade that you want, but usually not. And then they slab it and then send it back to you. But you've spent all this money to never open that comic book again. Number 15, Wonder Girl number 1. J. Scott Campbell, 1 in 25. Ooh, this would have been a good one to get.
You say that, but you do buy CGC books because you like the fact that the grade is guaranteed.
Well,
now you might crack them out of there, but you still succumb to the CGC, persona there, and you buy those because you like the idea that it's probably that grade.
Yeah, but when I have bought CGC, I have like a certain differential between the raw copy and the CGC. If I can get a CGC for like $30 or $40, which is probably how much all that process cost you, I'll go for it. But I'd go for the raw in a heartbeat because I'm gonna crack that sucker open anyway.
Yeah.
But the only time I've really done that is like getting good deals on Sunday at a con, when I can like show somebody at a dealer and say, look at this. This is what a CGC book is going for. This is what a raw copy is going for. I'm gonna rip that sucker out. But that doesn't always work. Sometimes it does because they're desperate to sell something on Sunday. Wonder Girl number 1. This is a J. Scott Campbell 1 in 25. I just got a Raphael Grandpa. It looks amazing. This is a rare thing these days. His 1 in 25 for this issue sold 49 copies, had a 7-day trend of 95% and a high sale of 74.3. That is a lot of money for a raw copy. A 1 in 25. I just bought as an example. I'll say what I bought. Joker number 2, second print, 1 in 25 for. I spent $50 on it.
Yeah.
And I thought that was high, but it's going for 70. So
yeah. You usually you can double the whatever the ratio is and expect to pay that.
yeah, for the big ones. For the smaller ones, it's not usually that high. Batman Fortnite 0.3 Jim Lee. Jim Lee's variant sold fewer copies than the standard cover with 54. It was $1 more too, just to let you know, because I'm buying all of the covers. With 54 copies sold, a 7-day trend of 79% and a high sale of 29.84. That's a lot for a raw copy because it just came out. However, it's important to remember that buyers are still mostly buying these for the codes. These codes come with a subsequent print and are also available with DC's online subscription services. The final trade will also have all the codes. I tried to get my co-host from Geek Brunch Retro to buy all these because I said, here's what you want to do. You love the omnibus. I said, if you buy all six, it will pay for one of your omni-buy. You just sell them right away. You're not going to open the bag. You don't care about Fortnite. Just sell them right away, and you'll have a free omnibus.
Yeah.
And he didn't listen to me. He drove me crazy. Oh, I don't like Fortnite. I said, don't who
read
cares?
It.
The comic isn't that bad. It has some redeeming qualities. I think it's okay. Siege Storming Asgard, Heroes and Villains. I didn't even know this book existed.
No.
But I know what Siege was. I didn't know this particular one existed. This book started trending after landing on the Loki Disney Plus books to look for lists. However, the market was a little confused on this one. The cover to get is the Lady Loki version. Both covers are exactly the same, except that the main cover is a male Loki and the variant is Lady Loki. The standard Loki cover sold 19 copies, had a 7-day trend of 211%, and a high sale of $7 for a raw copy. Well, that's cheap.
Yeah.
The variant has a high sale of $21.50.
See, I think the market is. I mean, I think there's going to be like one alternate version of Loki in this Disney Plus series where he's Lady Loki, and I don't think they're going to spend like episodes on him. It'll just be a throwaway.
Do you think it's going to be Lady Loki? I think it's going to be the kid Loki. I think
you're going to get more than one because like the nerds that I was watching on YouTube that were looking at there's this timeline and like all these divergent Lokis off this timeline. So I think you're going to see a bunch of different Lokis and different Loki versions, and that might just be one of them.
Well, I prefer the female one because she is sexy. Sexy Loki. I've seen cosplayers that do the female Loki. They look amazing. New Mutants 98. Well, this is Liefeld's creation of Deadpool.
Yep.
This is so funny. The only New Mutants book that I'm pretty much missing is 98. I don't know how that happened. I'll never know why that happened.
It could be yours for $26.50.
Well, it's one of those things that you're like, I ain't gonna pay $1,000 for this. I could have paid $1,000 a couple years ago and walked away with a really nice copy, and I was like, I gotta pay $1,000 for this. I kind of wish I would because it doesn't seem to trend down at all.
He upcharges at cons to sign this one and the Cable first appearance. Like his other stuff, he'll sign pretty like. I don't even know if he charges for his other stuff, but he charges like $35 to sign this.
Well, they all charge high now. Like, well, some of them will do like certain ones for free, but if you ask for like 2 or more, then you have to pay or give to Heroes Fund or. But some of them that know you're gonna CGC slab it, I don't know how they determine that, but they like to charge you for what you're gonna make on it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So, which I mean, really, I mean, shouldn't they charge you for any number one like that you have, that they've written? Because it might be.
I don't think they should charge you a difference based on what issue it is. I'd rather have a consistent flat rate.
Well, I'd rather
Personally,
if I go to a con and I've already paid $80 to get in there for the week, I shouldn't have to. And I go to your Artist Alley and I'm buying one of your books or looking at your crap, and I've already bought your stuff. You better sign it for free,
yeah.
especially if it's new things. I mean, I get it if you're like, oh, this is like a $5,000 book, and if I sign this, I just added $3,000 worth of value to it. Well, okay, I guess I understand it then. But if it's just something that you're putting out, you shouldn't charge to sign it.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel different depending on the situation.
Yeah.
But because some creators I think abuse it, and then some are more fair. Like I like the ones that give to the Hero Initiative. I prefer that because it's going to help comic creators that just are down on their luck.
Unless they
But
just empty that tip jar into their pocket at the end of the
I would hope not.
day.
That would if it's for charity, that would change my opinion of
Oh yeah.
the creator like dramatically. That's like collecting for Jerry's kids and then saying, "Oh, I'm gonna go buy some comics." Moon Knight #1. There you go.
Yep.
Marvel 1980. Oscar Isaacs. You just posted about something on this on Twitter, or no? It was on the Slack channel.
Yeah, and Jason
That
Jason
I
was sharing
saw.
something too. Yeah. It's really nice.
I like Oscar Isaac. I like the Moon Knight. I don't know what I'd prefer, like Crazy Moon Knight, or I like the multiple personalities, but in the early issues, he sort of made these aliases to do stuff, like the taxi driver and stuff.
Exactly. It was an
I, I
evolution.
yeah, I like the evolution. I like
So
that early stuff a lot.
so if we have like 5 or 6 seasons of this, you can get there. You don't have to
Yeah,
start. You don't have to
we,
start there.
I don't want them to start in the Crazy Town. I want
Yeah.
them to evolve into Crazy Town.
Yeah. I'm really geeked about this thing, so I'm hoping it's great. I think it will be.
Moon Knight is one of the most visually appealing characters in comics to me.
Yeah.
I don't know how they designed a character that's sort of all white or silver. I know his original color should have been silver because he was after the werewolves, but and it was mentioned to be silver, but it sort of became white because of coloring, and then he stayed white. But yeah, it's he just the shroud and the way he looks, it's just amazing. Plus, he's an interesting backstory. Nottingham #3. This book has really gone well for 1, 2, and 3.
Oh
It's
yeah.
kind of cool to see Mad Cave. I've been all in on Mad Cave, but to be honest with you, I haven't read a lot of Mad Cave. So most people that don't listen to me, they say like, "Man, you buy a lot of comics." I sure do. I buy a lot of comics and I don't get to read them all on time.
It Mike's planning for his retirement,
I am.
and he's going to be reading a lot of comics in his retirement. And he
Uh,
probably won't ever get through them all.
I'm gonna try to do 30 a day every retirement. But yeah, I I read on average about 30 a week. Um,
Yeah.
and I intake about 120 a week.
Yeah.
So
It's
it
not sustainable,
the
Mike.
math doesn't add up. But I like I've said in the past, it's a library mentality. and I like the fact that I can go check out books from any time period, and just I feel like that's why I like comics so much. And I don't criticize because I'm in the mood, and I read them when I want to read them. I read Western when I want to read it. I read an Image when I want to read it. I It's like having your own library.
Yeah. I I don't know. I still have that like, oh, it came out this week. I got to read it before the next week's books come out.
Yeah, I lost
I
that
still
a
do
long
that.
time ago.
I still have a little bit of that.
But I am caught up on Gung Ho, Savage Dragon, and Spawn, and Ha Ha for the most part. So there's certain books that I still put on my top of the stack.
Yeah.
Gotta make sure I read them. That Ha Ha book it's another level of weirdness that I just can't even think how somebody would do a series on clowns.
He did it. He pulled it off.
Yeah, I need to get into. I need to go to the basement and dig out Ice Cream Man. I really
Yeah.
do, because if this guy is original as he is with Ha Ha, I need to read this Ice Cream Man. I need to read it
Ah.
from one up.
Oh yeah. You'll love them. You'll really love them. They're great. Because you like horror anyway.
Yeah,
Uh,
horror is a great genre.
yeah. You'll dig it. When it comes to FOC, DC did it to us again. Because there's a holiday Monday, they backed their FOC to yesterday, day before yesterday, when you're listening to this. So it's already passed. And I don't know if there was anything on there that we may have missed. There was the Green Arrow 80th anniversary, third issue of Robin. Batman Reptilian #1, Checkmate #1. So there was some good stuff on there, but unfortunately, FOC's already passed at this point, so you can't do anything about it. But what we can do is we can look at the final orders cut off for the rest of the publishers, and we'll start over in Image Comics and see if anything jumps out to us there that might be spec worthy, and we have until Monday at noon to pull the trigger on that. And as I look down through here, I was looking at the Radiant Black third printing of issue 3, and with this thing gaining some heat, it's a different looking cover. Might be some heat there.
Yeah, I've been trying to get these third prints too, because I like the color schemes on them. It's like two-tone.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be. That's how I'm getting all from my LCS. It's easy for me to call the guy and say I want the third printing. Whereas if I go through DCBS, they don't even.
They
That's
don't
one thing that.
understand it.
Well, DCBS's paradigm is they don't like to deal with FOC. If you want to deal with FOC and you want to do FOC, go to Cowabunga or Deep Discount, because they'll work with you.
Yeah.
DCBS is not too. Their business paradigm doesn't work for these final order cutoffs.
I don't know. I never understood it, because I would send the email in plenty of time, and then it would never get the stuff. It was just, I think it's just like they don't have the customer service to manage it. I think that's what it is. Because it would be worth their while, right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
But are you looking at the final order cutoffs? Because I only see the second print for Radiant Black due on third print due on May 31st, 2021.
What Radiant Black third print #3?
Yeah.
What did I say?
I thought you just said the regular edition. I wasn't sure.
Now you school me on this Spawn Universe first issue. There's a ton of covers.
Spawn Universe is launching all of the Spawn titles, and this is kind of like the prequel to the launch. So there's going to be like King Spawn and all Gunslinger Spawn, and this is the main one. Although the hints of what I think this is going to be are in the latest issue of Spawn. These are all drawn by J. Scott Campbell, except for that Booth and McFarlane. So the McFarlane and the Booth and McFarlane are the ones that I think you should go for, because those were not in previews. They had one A through D, but not the McFarlane ones. So the McFarlane ones are kind of unique to the Diamond catalog. They weren't listed in the magazine.
Oh.
And if you're a McFarlane fan and a completist, you want the McFarlane ones anyway. But J. Scott Campbell draws the heck out of women, and
cover A looks great.
Yeah, but also Gunslinger Spawn looks amazing.
Yeah.
I really want to buy a Gunslinger Spawn action figure, but I actually like B more for some reason. It just it looks great, especially if you're into the Western genre. The Gunslinger Spawn design is one of the best. I like it. So yeah, this is definitely something to. I'm going for every cover. And if they have a ratio variance, I told my shop that I'm going to do it. So if he's willing to dish out the cash, which he has been lately, I got my 1 in 50 or 1 in 60 from Eric at Cowabunga, and that was one of the best investments I have ever done because I never in my wildest dreams would have thought that the cover would look like a piece of art. It looks like it's on the art page. You'll see all the notes on it. It looks like you actually got a sketch from Capulu. It is amazing. And if you take a picture of it, people thought it was original art, not a comic book. That's how great it is.
Wow.
It's incredible. And Stray Dogs is really getting up there in the printings, that's for sure.
Yeah, good for them.
Good for Tony Fleeks, man. He finally he sticks around in the My Little Pony area and he does his stuff for IDW, but man, he's played in the Action Lab realm, but he's really hitting it good, and I'm glad for him because he sometimes serves as a guest co-host on 11 O'Clock Comics, and just listening to him talk, he's a great person to hang out with, I'll tell you that.
Now, the 5th issue has a B cover, and Mike Myers, is that a Halloween homage? You would have to know this.
Friday the 13th.
Friday the 13th, I'm sorry. Okay.
Yeah, you're right. If I would know if it's Halloween, and that's but people often get that confused. Like I'll go into a bank or something and they'll go pa 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 pa. I said that's Friday the 13th. I got the song that's do 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 do. So I have to explain that to a lot of people.
Yeah, you probably get that, and then the
Austin Powers.
Austin Powers all the time. You gotta hate that.
You get used to it after time.
Now, what's this vinyl? This is Doug Wagner, Daniel Hilliard.
Oh, this is
Psychopath, Sweet Love, and a Serial Killer Named Walter. That's a good story. I'm there.
These guys, this is like a trilogy of stuff, and vinyl's like I think their third offering, but I can't think of what they did before.
Oh.
They're all one-letter words. It looks good.
Oh yeah.
I'm definitely checking it out. Cool. I've not been upset with Image lately.
They really turned it up.
Knocking it out of the park. The only one I didn't care for was Kickstarter driven, and it was Helm Greycastle or something like that.
I did not like that either.
The art was beautiful.
Yeah.
It's just that the story was so flat. There was no depth of emotion or characterization.
Now down at Dark Horse, we have Black Hammer Reborn. So Jeff Lemire's coming back and going to start up the series again. after doing one offshoot after another. Do you read any Black Hammer stuff?
I buy them all, but I've only read the first series.
Yeah, yeah.
So
So you
so
you
I am
buy all.
real behind. I gotta go in the library in the basement and pull them out.
You bought all the offshoots and all the side quests.
I bought everything. I don't buy all the covers, so like if you see a cover B, I probably don't have it, but I have all the cover A's.
Yeah, I just stayed with the main series, and then this thing where they let other artists take it on, which I've enjoyed.
Yeah, this Lady Baltimore cover looks really nice. I like it. It's by
Yeah,
Ab Larson. Very creepy. Crows everywhere and a sexy witch in the middle. I like it. Great color scheme. That's nice.
TMNT ongoing has a new cover artist, Nelson Daniel. Not as good as the person that was doing it before.
Are you reading the Last Ronin?
No, I
Oh
did not.
man, that's so good. That's like the Dark Knight of Ninja Turtles. You should be reading it.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. It's a good way to talk about it. We can skip that DC stuff because we can't actually get it. It's funny that Preview still manages to track DC and their final order cutoff. Why are they doing that?
Yeah, that Superman cover B is one I might want to track down that I didn't order. It's good. I like it a lot.
Batman, Superman?
And Erica Cowabunga featured the Checkmate event Leviathan.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's a spec pick, but the first event Leviathan stuff was really well written. And if
I
you're a
liked it. Yeah.
Manhunter fan, Manhunter's in it. She's got Kate Spencer has a huge following, and she's in this, so you need to get on that. Or if you're in the Infinity Inc. Mr. Bones with the cyanide touch, you need to get it.
Which one of these Green Arrows would you have picked up?
I can't see the cover. Oh, I can't see many of the covers. It says image coming soon.
Yeah,
I think I ordered the Cho one because it's got Shadow in the background with the
yeah.
dragon tattoo. I know I picked up that one. That's the 1940s version, which doesn't look like the 40s. I think I picked up the Neil Adams by default. Eric picked that one in his picks.
I'm guessing the
Uh,
'80s was the Longbow Hunters homage.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's Gary. It's Gary Frank, I think.
Yeah.
I didn't pick the. I'd like to see the Jen Bartel one. That would be a nice one because I like her art. But there's a Dan Mora. Yeah, and I like his art, so I didn't order that one. I think I got the Frank, the Adams, and the Cho. That's what
Yeah.
I think I got.
So you just have to go into a local comic shop Wednesday and roll your dice and see if you can get any of that.
Yeah, when I picked covers, I just looked at the artists and went blind.
Yeah.
It's not, and you're pretty much 50-50 on that. Like
Yeah.
sometimes you get this amazing cover and sometimes you're a little disappointed. Got to roll the dice though if you want to
Yeah.
pre-order anyway.
That's the good thing about FOC. Usually you get a little more information, which is nice. Gamma Flight from Marvel is spinning out of Immortal Hulk. That might be fun.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I'm
And
looking
then,
forward to the Fantastic Four life story. I still have to read one, but that's Mark Russell. So I've never been let down by that man.
did you like this Spider-Man life story? The Zdarsky?
But Zdarsky, I didn't read it, but I've heard really good things.
Yeah, it's one I need to circle back to.
I need to concentrate on Marvel because I'm buying so much of it, but I'm not reading it. So yeah, over this holiday week, I think I'm just gonna read a lot of Marvel.
Anything after the 90s? You're still gonna be stuck back doing your cable run.
I'm gonna take a break from the. Although I have retrocast, so I have to pick something. But I think I'm gonna pick something from Extreme Studios, so that'll be image related.
Nice. And have you got a chance to read any of the Heroes Reborn stuff?
No, but I do love the Squadron Supreme, so I'm kind of looking forward
Oh,
to it.
you'll like it then, yeah. It looks like Heroes Return is the capstone for it.
Yeah, I read the original, and then I've read all their incarnations, and I even have their first appearances. But yeah, they're like the evil Justice League. They're
Yeah.
really,
Pretty sweet.
yeah,
I just
it's
don't understand how they can get away with the.
derivatives.
Yeah, how does
Derivatives.
do they have nobody have copyright lawyers back then or I
I
don't
think in the back in the day you could sue because DC sued Fawcett for Shazam, and you know if you were close, oh he can fly, he's got super strength, he's got a cape. Nowadays it's you have so many derivatives. I mean, Mark Wade's doing derivatives and Boom and
Yeah, that's true.
Mark Millar is all derivatives in my
That's true.
opinion. So
Yeah,
it's hard
that's
to be
true.
original anymore. You can almost tie everything to Superman, Batman, Green Arrow, you know.
Did you get a chance to watch Jupiter's Legacy?
No, I have not. I heard it was really good. A little slow though. At least that's what I heard from my dad. I hooked up
Spot
my
on.
dad. Yeah, I've heard my dad. I got my dad so excited because I traveled down to Albuquerque and hooked him. I bought Netflix for him, and he didn't have Netflix, and now he's like Cobra Kai, and he's watching all kinds of stuff. So he's having a blast.
That's awesome.
He watched. I got him to watch Queen's Gambit. I was playing chess with my dad, and I said, "You need to watch Queen's Gambit." And him and my mom loved it, which I
Oh,
was
it was
really
great.
glad
Yeah.
because I think Queen's Gambit is so amazing that even people that don't understand chess can like it.
Oh yeah. And then run out and buy a chessboard.
hmm The only thing that was bad is I kicked my dad's butt, and I don't know if he wants to play me anymore.
That's
And he used to beat me. He's the one that taught me chess.
pretty
So,
awesome.
yeah.
We've got
Dynamite. We got Red Sonja number 28. I want to point this out, but uh, Dynamite does this weird thing where they do FOC bonus variants. And what they mean is you cannot order them through previews. You have to order them at FOC. So if you scroll down to like Vengeance of Vampirella, number 19 FOC bonus variant, that's only orderable. So the print runs are really, really low.
you would think
Whether,
so, right?
but they are. There was a Bleeding Cool article that said they're really, really doing well with their FOC variants. I'm probably one of the causes because I just have my LCS guy. I said just order me every single FOC variant. And the interesting thing though is he puts me down for every FOC, and some of these FOCs are like you have to order 11 copies to get this one. You have to order 21 copies to get this one. You have to order 51 copies to order this one. But sometimes they ship him those and then he sells them to me for $3.99. So minus a 25% discount. So I get some really cool ratio variants.
And he doesn't have to get stuck with buying the extra copies?
No, he just puts down for it. So
Wow, that's awesome.
yeah, but it doesn't always work. But they must not have people that care when they're doing it. So when they fill it, sometimes they'll fill it and sometimes they won't. It's like a 50-50 shot.
Oh, that would be
So
sweet, man. I would
yeah,
order all the all kinds of stuff. You should order
yeah.
every ratio.
Well, I only told him I don't want him to order the ones that are $50 because then I don't want to commit to that. But I'll have him order any of these FOC variants that are 1 in 11, 1 in 121 because they're supposed to be sold at $3.99, but you have to buy 11 copies to get it. of
Right.
any Dynamite. It doesn't just mean you have to buy Vengeance of Vampirella. It means you have to buy 11 Dynamite comics that month, and then you.
Oh, I see.
But he doesn't qualify. He doesn't got a. He doesn't have a Dynamite following. He buys like he's got his pull customers, and then he buys like one for the shelf, and that's it.
Yeah. That's 50% of comic shops.
Like I went to my comic shop and I told him, "You're buying way too much Zenoscope, dude." And he's buying it all for this one woman who wants these like silver level exclusives. They have like so he sells the one silver level exclusive, but then he's stuck with like 20 copies of each Zenoscope book, and I'm like, how are you going to sell those? The only one that he's been able to move is that one that you guys talked about, the rabbit or the man goat, and
Oh yeah. Yeah.
that one's at least moving.
Yeah, he probably does he have an eBay store?
No, he did before COVID, and then he never kicked it back up. He
Yeah.
used to have employees though before COVID, and now he doesn't have any, so it's all him.
Oh man. I'm glad he's still propped up though and still going thanks to you.
Oh, he's kicking ass.
He's the one
He's
that was going to
selling.
close, right?
Yeah, he's the one that was closed. That's why I moved everything over to DCBS, and he's doing better now than he ever did.
Yeah. There's a
So we
book.
got Boom. Did you see anything in there?
No, I didn't.
Well, your Many Lives of Lila Starr second printing.
I did, and I wasn't sure if it was the same cover or not. I can't remember.
You know which ones I like are those foil uh Layla stars that I bought the foil and they look really nice.
Oh, do they?
But I'm a foil sucker. I'm a gimmick sucker from the 90s.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And you put foil or chromium and I'm all there. Or you get a die cut. We need a die cut to come out soon. We haven't had one of those in a long time. Or a bullet hole. Like I remember the bullet hole cover. That was awesome.
Now Titan's putting out Extraordinary #1, and they have an FOC variant. So it's black and white. It's not the greatest cover, but it's by V.E. Schwab and Enid Balam.
Yeah,
So
they had a #0 for 25 cents that came out prior to this.
I think I missed that.
Yeah. I ordered it, so it's like you can't beat a quarter.
Exactly. And that's all I see on FOC.
There's no #1s.
Not
There
really.
is a Maria Lovett's Arrow Psych #4 Madame Xanadu homage. It's for you DC fans.
All right.
I want to read Phantom on the Scan. It looks good. Oh, Shadow Man that was really good.
Yeah. How's the new Valiant relaunches going? I've kind of set that one out. You enjoying that
I've
stuff?
been really happy. This one is going back to like Shadow Man being a horror book, which I love. It's got the music scene, which is a New Orleans jazz, and it's got like it being like voodoo and the dead side and the horror aspect of it. So it's going back in a direction that I really like.
Sweet.
Yeah, and Erica Cowabunga has those. He's having. I can't remember the artist now. It's not Jen Bartel. It's the other one that used to draw the Wonder Woman covers that you used to always go gaga over.
Okay, yeah.
I'm getting so old.
I know. I do the same thing.
If you go back like 5 years, I used to have all these names in my head, and the white dots are taking over. Well, that's it for FOC, right?
Yeah. Let's shoot over to CBSI's Hot 10 list. And #1 is Something is Killing the Children. #16, the Virgin 1 per store variant.
That book can do no wrong, man.
They just whatever they put out a phone book, man. It's gonna sell. This is a $125 book. So thank you to all the stores, and they get to cash in and eBay that sucker or sell it in their store. Good for them. At number 2, we have Ghost Rider from number 28 from 1992. This is that first. What did we say it was? Midnight Suns.
Yeah, it's crazy. This was like a dollar book like a year ago. You couldn't like,
It's
you couldn't
nuts.
give these away, and now they're
And I'm,
they're
I'm
saying,
sure there's still shops that have this stuff somewhere in their
well, you can
regular.
get them even cheap online. Like this is 400 to 500 for a 9.8. I would I would go for one of those $50 and hope, and then send it away, hope and press it and hope that you
Yeah,
get a 9.8. But
exactly.
that's way too much to spend for that book. I don't get it.
Hardcore number 1 from Robert Kirkman and Brian Stelfreeze. This is a cool book. I enjoyed this a long time ago.
It's a
Now
one shot.
I guess it's gonna be a movie now. So this has jumped to $40 plus. And this was also in pilot season in 2009 that predates this issue and is also a first appearance. So,
Well, the pilot season Declassified is his first appearance, and I don't know why this is higher than his first appearance.
right? Doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense. And then there's an ongoing, well, what you could call a short run ongoing that's after this.
Yes.
And this hardcore number 1 is the pilot season. But what's interesting of this is it's one of the only pilot seasons that doesn't have the pilot season circle on it. They usually have this like circle or the box that says pilot season. This pilot season doesn't show up on this cover. And what pilot season was Top Cow saying, we're going to put out all this new comics and you get to vote.
Yeah.
And it was kind of a fun thing to do.
Yeah.
Ahoy tried it a couple years ago, and they had like too many false positives, so they had to rule the judgment incorrect, and then they ended up putting all of them out. But yeah,
Like
pilot
D,
season was
yeah, like
kind of
DC's
fun.
round robin attempt. We'll see how
Yeah,
that goes. It's gonna be
they put it.
Robins.
I don't know if you saw, but I don't know if you have the digital app, but the digital app has
Yeah, the 10
the
pages.
the 10 pages. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I was underwhelmed by the art style. I didn't read them, but I just flipped through to look at the art style, and I was pretty underwhelmed. It's okay, nothing special. I
And for
still
you
wish I had
guys
that.
I was just gonna say, for people that want the codes on Fortnite, that's the route to go. You're not gonna spend $27, and if you just want the code, you buy the app for a month
Yeah,
or 2 months, and you read the comic, and then at the end of when you read it, you get the code, and it works because I gave those codes away on Twitter, and they worked. So I read it on the digital app because I didn't want to perforate the plastic.
yeah, that's funny.
Yeah,
That was nice of you. So who did you give them to? Somebody you knew or just randos?
I just did random on first come first serve on Twitter.
That's cool.
And then I asked all I said is to the people, let me know if it worked. I said it did. But then
That's
I got a
wicked.
bunch of people afterwards saying it didn't work. I said, well, that's because somebody already claimed it.
Yeah, duh. At
Yeah.
rank 4, we have Witches, a book that Kyle and I both really loved from Scott Snyder and Jock. This is now selling for around 50. No, it was selling for 50 to 60. It's selling for 20 to 25 raw and up to 200 for a 9.8. So yeah, we heard this is going to be made into a series. So excited about that. At rank 5, we have Seasons Beatings #1, the Marco Djurjevic variant from Jason Latour and various artists, so with a Kang variant on the cover. I'm assuming that people are looking for harder to find versions of Kang at this point. This one doesn't look to be that plentiful. for a non-incentive, selling for $40 to $50.
That's a lot, but it is the
Yeah,
third variant, so it's probably rare.
yeah.
And Kang is big because he's gonna show up in Ant-Man, so.
And Infamous Iron Man #1, we talked about that. They have this as a selling $50 raw, and the 1 in 25 Ribic variants hitting $250.
That's a good book. Have you read that?
Oh, I loved it. Yeah,
Oh God, the Doom thing. Oh, that's so good.
so good. Rank 7, we have Captain America #16, Ed Brubaker. There were some outlets are reporting that the character Sin will be a villain in Captain America 4. So it's selling for $50. Marvel Comics presents 117. I don't remember this one.
This is the first appearance of Ravage 2099. Woo!
Oh,
But it's also the first Wolverine versus Venom. That's what's driving it.
okay. It's jumped up to
But you get
$30.
a twofer. You get Ravage 2099 created by Stan Lee.
There you go.
So the Ravage 2099 is kind of like the lowest selling
Yeah.
2099 book. But what's interesting about that is it was written by Stan Lee. Like this was late in his career
I wouldn't
too.
bet against it popping at some point.
Yeah. It was Stan Lee and Paul Ryan, and Paul Ryan's no joke of an artist. I have all of these. I was one of the guys that bought them. But the first cover is kind of cool because it has like a foil rim, just like all the 2099 comics used to have. It have a
Yeah.
foil rim around the center image. It looked pretty cool.
That's cool. At rank 9, we have Bitter Root #13, the Sanford Green variant. This is selling in the $25 range.
That's been optioned too.
Yeah. At rank 10, we have We Live #5, the second print foil variant. There you go, foil. Um, the book, I don't really know what to do with this book as availability is very small. Couldn't really ignore a $140 sale when the buy-in was only $25. It appears that the cover appearance of the Palladians is one reason, the main reasons this is being sought after. And in the honorable mention category, we have Hulk Raging Thunder #1, written by Jeff Parker and Mitch Breitweiser. Raw copies only seem to be selling in the $10 to $15 range, but 9/8 are hitting $150. When there's that large of a jump between raw and graded, expect the raw prices to increase quickly. First appearance of Lyra. You can look her up. And we have Daring Mystery Comics #3, written by Joe Simon. Old school damsel in distress on the cover. Very cool 10-cent comic. A raw copy in 2 condition sold for $7,200. The last graded sale was in 2019 when a CGC 5.5 sold for $3,900. There's a lot going on this cover, so much that I have no idea what is actually going on. It's very cool. I still have dreams of finding a box of some old relatives comics that have a bunch of 10-cent old damsel in distress covers and enjoying those.
Yeah, it's happens at estate sales sometimes, like or when I've seen like books like this show up, it's usually because for cheap, not for to us, but to the
Yeah,
store or stuff. It's some kid like son or daughter or grandson that inherits it
yeah,
and just wants to get rid of the junk in the
yeah,
house or whatever.
yeah,
And they just say, "Oh, give me $1,000 for these 4 boxes." And you look at the 4 boxes, and there's one book in there that makes up for the entire price you paid for the box.
yeah. That's the Aaron Myers principle, right?
Oh yeah, that he lives by that. Yeah,
Yeah,
but I don't. Man, his house is. I can't imagine. He accumulates faster than I do because and then he has to worry about like, well, what do I put up for sale and stuff. It's so weird because he's not just a seller, he's a collector, so he always wants like one copy of everything and then he'll offload everything else.
yeah. And sometimes he'll go find the copy he has and see if this is a better copy than what he has.
Yeah, and then sell that one.
Yeah,
I
that's kind of
bought a
cool.
lot. I bought a lot of his ones that he got a better copy, and I'll get a VG version of something.
Yeah, that's cool. It's time for sneak peek at next week. Let's head on over to Lunar and see what the good folks at DC have to offer. Coming out on the 1st of June. June already. Jesus. We got some great Batman covers. Josh Middleton's quite nice. What fortnight is that? Is that 4? Issue 4? Well, you know that's going to be a $40 book, so it'll be a
Oh,
no-brainer
they're
to pick that one.
I didn't realize that they mix Scout in here now too, huh?
Yeah, yeah, they do.
Yeah, I was like, what the hell is that?
It didn't make sense to me the first time I saw it. And I guess that they're distributing them as well. But I don't think they're exclusive, right?
No, they're going through Diamond as well. Just means when I order from them, I'm getting it from Scout to DCBS.
Yeah. Crush and Lobo. That might be a fun series. I don't know.
The
We'll have to.
Conjuring is going to be interesting.
Yeah. Yep. That'll be good.
That could be the first appearance of the Conjuring in comics. I don't know of any other Conjuring.
That's a great Sienkiewicz cover.
Yeah, I do like his work.
And is this on an imprint of any kind?
Black Label. Anything that's rated R is Black Label. There's just two formats of Black Label, and I think this is standard. It's not the bigger size.
But it has no stamp on it. It doesn't say Black Label.
It is Black Label, trust me. It's this.
Do you like that VHS tape cover for the Conjuring?
I actually like A better.
Yeah, I like the Sienkiewicz too, but I think
If
it's
I had
pretty.
a choice, I mean, the B will probably be rarer because of the cardstock dollar increase.
Yeah,
But I artistic wise, I'd rather go with the A for sure.
I think it's gonna be a low print run
It
either
it
way.
looks way better.
And then Nice House on the Lake,
Nice
which
thing with the
is
Conjuring though is you could do a lot of interesting things with this. You could go to a convention and have like a Conjuring actress or actor
yep.
sign this book, you know.
Now Nice House on the Lake, which actually is Black Label and has the Black label on it, and is $3.99. Has its first issue, and I think this is going to be an interesting one to watch. Because James Tinian is so
It's
hot right now.
hot, yeah.
Yeah. So this could go under some radars. But I think that's going to be a nice book to have. And I'd probably go cover A on that one as well.
For you Man of Steel fans, there's a third hardcover, which is the John Byrne collected edition.
Yeah.
It's probably going to go in with these collected editions. Once they go out of print, they go really high. You just have to wait the long game with them, but
Yeah.
they'll double, triple in price. So if it's like a $60 book, you'll be paying $180 for it real soon. Yeah, that's some good stuff. I like a lot of the covers on
Oh
this.
yeah. That's all I saw then from DC. What do we have from Image coming up? Oh, the Firepower 12 that has all those crazy covers going all out for that
Yeah,
issue. Just kind of weird.
I got the A. I got the Tula Late cover, which is one of the better ones, I think. I love Tula Tape. One of the coolest people to visit at a con too. McFarlane, I need to get that, and then the Larson and Liefeld, which is the image creators I'm going for.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I
and I got
figured.
the Miller one. The Frank Miller did one too.
Yeah.
I really like the Nocturna covers quite a bit, and
Yeah,
they're
they're
going
very
into
good.
multiple printings.
They're solid. Now, the Savage Dragon, do you like the retro 70s trade dress?
Um, I like I like them equally, but if I was to pick one, I'd go for cover A. But they also have that what is it called? The Canadian team version of it.
Yeah.
That is probably the one to get, like in terms of uniqueness. But I get this because I'm a compulsive person with Eric Larson
Right.
and McFarlane, so I have to get like all the covers. And the interesting thing about Spawn and Savage Dragon is if you don't jump in now, there are cult followings of these books that it'll cost you $10 an issue, and then it'll go to 20, and then it'll go to 30 by the time you know it, because they're they just they're, especially Spawns, they're just ridiculous. There's your book on Dark Horse.
Yeah, Dead Dog's Bite finishing up with its fourth issue. See how he sticks the landing. I hope it is deserving of my number one ranking in my top five.
Jenny Zero's finally coming out after that first one hit because of a misprint. That's Dave Dwanch. He used to be a podcaster for Comic Book Savants. He's a really cool dude.
Yeah. Worst Dudes doesn't look good to me. Not my style.
I'm getting it because it looks the what it read as sounded good.
Yeah, I don't. I think I've read some other Aubrey Sitterson and I haven't liked it, so that also didn't help. Great
I
cover
the,
for Amazing Spider-Man 67.
Let me see.
I like that look.
Chameleon? Is that the
Yeah,
chameleon?
yeah, I like that.
I like that alien second print.
Yeah, yeah, that's nice.
The Black Cat covers are really cool.
Yeah, they're doing a good job with those. That's
Kind of
Pepe
like all of
Larraz.
them. Yeah, I like the cover A the best, which is good. I like when the cover A is the best. It should be, in my opinion.
It should be, yeah.
Hellions has a bunch of covers. Heroes Reborn. If you're a fan of cards, you can get these cards variants, which were they look like the old Marvel cards, which I
Right.
have. I
Which, yeah,
remember the borders.
people are paying big money for those now too.
Yeah.
Trying to track those down. Immortal Hulk is winding down. That's for issue 47. You said there was only a couple issues left.
Yeah. I love the standard covers. The Alex Ross.
Oh yeah, they're fantastic.
Alex Ross is killing it with Iron Man and Immortal Hulk covers right now.
I love that they keep offering this Moon Knight Epic collection, keeping this thing in print. That's great.
Yeah. And then there's your nonstop Spider-Man #3. This after a long delay, it seems like.
It does feel like it took a while to get to
It
issue 3.
seems like that first one came out, and then there's been lags on it for being nonstop. It's pretty slow. Intern coming out.
That's all I had.
There's a
Well,
lot of
Mike.
Boba Fett toys covers here. Might be
Yeah,
hot.
that's true.
Usually Boba Fett does well in the back market. Well, I think that's it, right?
Yep, yep. So, Mike, if you're gonna pick one, what's your spec pick of the week?
Oh my God. I'm gonna go with the Firepower Todd McFarlane cover. Just because there's a lot of Todd fans out there.
Now, do I have a visual on that one?
Yeah,
Okay,
it,
fantastic. That's a good one.
it's right after the Tulu Late.
And I'm gonna go with Nice House on the Lake
Oh, that's a better pick.
from James Tinian and see if it pops. And I
Because
think,
I have a feeling that'll get optioned pretty soon.
yeah, yeah, if it hasn't already.
He's pretty smoking hot right now. And
Exactly.
people are noticing that in Hollywood, I think.
Hey,
Anybody
Mike.
that can drive sales on something that other book people are looking at.
Oh yeah, for sure. Hey,
Well,
Mike,
thanks for having me.
I want to thank you for your time, and we appreciate it. It's great to have a voice different than me and my brother on here sometimes. It's cool to get your perspective, and I really appreciate you spending the time with us and the listeners.